2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. You know, it's football season around here. We're getting ready for all sorts of stuff. Our Baltimore Positive together. If you haven't heard Dick Cass, if you haven't heard Ron Shapiro up in the BuyAToyota.com audio vault, make sure you're checking that out. But if you're watching any of the videos on Facebook or YouTube, you see, sometimes I have on my Compass Point golf hat. And Robert Canady gave me this good-looking charcoal hat here so I can fit in down and pass it in. And we welcome him back onto the program after a week respite. You sent your Kiwi friend Corey last week, man. I tell you what, he tried to Wally Pip you, man. I wasn't sure you were coming back this week. Of course, he didn't know anything about basketball, though. So,
yeah, that might be his weak point right there. So at least I'll still have that on him. I'm sure he could have talked forever talking about the golf swing and, cured everyone's ills if you had taken call-ins and stuff like that. But, no, he's great. He's done good stuff here as far as, junior camps during the summer, and it's booked full with lessons. I hear him talking to players out there on the range all the time, or as they come through the clubhouse, that he's really working with them well. And he's been a big addition here, and we're glad to have him. I'm glad he was able to fill in for me while I went up to Wisconsin and played a little golf by the lake and spent some time in Packer country and everything. And
so you played cheese golf. Is that what you're telling me in August, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. I had some bratwurst and all the good stuff that goes with Wisconsin.
Any cheese curds? Did you do any cheese curds?
I did not on those. I had a beer specially up there called Spotted Cow and some Jigger Ale.
All right. Well, it sounds like you had a delicious week in Wisconsin, but you're back on the links here. So this is the time of the year. Kids go back to school, right? And you think of golf, you think of the spring and the azaleas, but this is the time when players play. And, you're a player, and Compass Point's all about the players. The next 8-10 weeks, this is a really nice time to get out and play golf if you love golf, right? Like less people out there, better weather, the whole deal, right?
Yeah, all of that. And, I got back into town this over the weekend, and I was here Monday. And, of course, it was a holiday, and before everyone's heading back to work and school, and we had, the course was packed from 8 a.m. to, probably 5 o'clock p.m. and beyond. So this is headed into the time of year where you touched on it. The weather's just perfect. Hopefully we have all this hot, nasty stuff behind us, and, we're going to have some nice, beautiful fall weather. And in October, the colors will change out there, and we have a lot of scenery, pretty scenery that'll change. And then it's a big corporate time of year. As far as the corporate outings go, this is our September and October, the prime times to do those. And a lot of the dates have already been booked, but there's still a few open dates in October. If a company or a group or organization is thinking about having a little fundraiser at the last minute, they can contact me. All my information is at compasspointgolf.com, and we'd be happy to throw together a nice little golf outing packs for them to raise some funds and have a good time in the perfect weather.
Well, you guys do so many events in the summer. The fall, you have a craft beer open that comes in October, correct? And you also do night golf, like a Halloween, kind of a very scary kind of Halloween thing next month too, right?
Yeah, that'll be one of our final events of the season. We'll have a turkey shoot in November that will be the final one maybe. But yeah, the two that you just mentioned, the night golf right around Halloween and the craft beer open, are two of the more popular ones through the year, especially that fall craft beer open. It'll fill up and sell out. And, what better time than to be on the golf course in the fall and have some craft beer, so, football season, you come out and you play, then you get out of here to go watch football. So it's a great time, and both those will be popular events.
Robert Canady is the one Redskin fan I keep friendship with. He's down at Compass Point Golf. He'll book an outing for you, and certainly basketball season and Buckets and Birds out on Twitter. If you followed along with our program, Robert keeps a close eye on all the local college basketball. We're not far out, right? We're 5 weeks out on Moonlight Madness and dribbling basketballs and Juan Dixon on the show and our Coppin State relationship and UMBC, Towson, everybody throwing it together. It's not far, man. It's September, Robert. It's crazy already.
It is. I've already seen some of the little previews that have come out and everything, and probably in the next month or so I'll be working my way over to the new UMBC Event Center and CQ to see some practices, and maybe down to College Park and see what Turgeon and the group have going on down there. So we'll be reporting on that fully throughout the winter, but definitely looking forward to it kicking off here over in the next 6 weeks or so.
Well, any chance that the Terps win a basketball game, the way they won the football game last week? I know they're going to have some pushovers early in the schedule, but the football thing's crazy when you're winning 73-0. But Robert Canady can be found buckets and birds out on Twitter, of course, at Compass Point Golf, doing everything down there. I want to hit you on golf just in general in the state of the game. And I think when Tiger did what he did back in the spring, this has been a particularly good year for golf, right? Like, this has been a real nice 6-month period for the diversity, for moving the schedule around the way the tour did earlier in the year. It's made for a little bit of a dry summer to some degree, but it really egged on the spring for people that love golf, and I think it's been a good year for golf.
Yeah, it's definitely been a year of change, which in essence then made it interesting of itself because of the schedule changes that you just touched on. It was so jam-packed early on, and, with Tiger winning the Masters in April, I mean, that just really set up the spring for, excitement. It got players back out playing again. It got people interested in watching it again. And, then they picked up the very next month, they had the PGA was moved to May, and then you had the U.S. Open and the British Open, right on the heels of those. And so it was jam-packed from April through June and July, and, then we had a little dry spell there after the British Open. The FedEx playoffs, they started, and they were a change this year. So, they tried to breathe some life into that. They tried to move them away from the NFL season so that they were done by the time the season started. Mission accomplished. And you had a couple of good winners there, and they had the big $15 million purse was an increase. And so it went into some excitement with that. And they had the new staggered. We didn't talk a lot about it because some of it coincided with the trip up where I was away, but basically the staggered start where Justin Thomas went into the final round, giving Brooks Koepka, I think it was 2 shots to the field or, whatever, because of the way Koepka had finished throughout the season. He began 2 strokes up on Thomas and eight up on someone else. But, it ended up being a, exciting final round there, the Tour Championship. And, so it was a year of change and fun to see that. And, we'll go into the off season here now with a little bit of a lull. The new 1920 season actually starts next week out in West Virginia. And then they'll work their way through the holidays with not many tournaments. A big note, the players will play a little bit here and there until we have the next big event will be the President's Cup, I guess, coming up in late November. And that'll be the U.S. against the rest of the international team. So, a little bit of a break before the 19 and 20 season starts, but it was definitely with Tiger, as you mentioned, winning, got the season off to a good start, and it kind of carried through. So
I think golf's had a better year than, let's say, baseball has to some degree. From a growth and interest and good news and good stories, golf's had a better year than a lot of sports, I would say.
It did. It was in the news, for all the right reasons with, love or hate Tiger. He's what, as we've talked about many times, he is the needle. He doesn't move it.
But there's also an interesting field chasing him and a really large young array, specifically of American players as well, that people can latch on to. Guys that are going to have 10, 15, 20 more years of career that if you like Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, whoever it is, you got something to watch on the weekends. There's something to draw you in if you're a golf fan.
Right, yeah. And that was, we didn't even touch on that with Rory, having won the Tour Championship. We talked about the Tour, but, he had a really good year. He just didn't win a major. But, he's the next young star that's been the next big thing, him and Jordan Spieth for the last 5 or 6 years. And, he had a great year by all accounts, and he's probably going to be considered player of the year with Koepka. But then you've got these, who the average golf fan who doesn't follow it real deep may not know the ones that just came out of college, the Victor Hovlands and the Morikawas and the Gengises. These are some really good players that have, gotten their card just this summer that you're going to hear a lot about next year. So, the younger and younger players are coming out and they're starting to make more and more of an impact. So, I look for next year to be, as good a year, if not better than this year was. And, who knows what it will bring for Tiger and, whether he'll, still, we just went through knee surgery a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's like the bionic man. Another knee surgery, they'll put him back. It's only his 5th one, right? Literally, right?
Right, exactly. And, we'll come back next year and try to regain that chase for the Jack Nicklaus in the 18 majors, and we'll see how that goes. But it was a great year. It's, there's still some golf to be played this calendar year, but little things here and there, and it won't really pick up again until, the big interest will pick up again in January when they start in Hawaii, and that kind of kicks off the season in full unofficially, even though it officially begins next week.
He is Robert Canady. He is Buckets and Birds out on Twitter. You can find him down at Compass Point Golf where he's doing it. You can find compasspointgolf.com. You can get out Pasadena, Mountain Road, hang out 36 holes. And as it's been reminded me, I am allowed to play 9 if I wish. Corey joined us last week. Robert, great to visit with you this week. I know we're going to have some basketball to talk about in the next couple of weeks, so we'll ramp that up and ramp down the golf as we go through the winter. But hope everybody comes down and golfs with you, and hope to get down there sometime soon and see you, maybe before the Redskins win their first game, whenever that is.
If we go by that gives you plenty of time, I'm sure. So but we'll look forward to it.
Hey, man, we got the JV in Miami this week, in Arizona next week. We better be 2-0. I'm sitting up here talking smack. We better not be 1-1 going to Kansas City 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, so it's the season. Everyone begins 0-0 and it has the high hopes. So
it's not too late for you to adopt the purple. You'd look good in purple, Robert. This is your chance, all right?
Well, then I just say they're my AFC girlfriend. You have my NFC home team and everything, and they're the team because of local interest. And if I want to sell business in this Pasadena area, I better not hate the Ravens too much. Yet.
Well, I would also say that the Ravens' 4th string beat the Redskins' 4th string last week in that always important Governor's Cup.
Oh, geez, was I glad I was out of town to miss that one.
Yeah. We'll see you soon, Robert, next week.
All right, Nestor, thanks.
Robert Canady, my man, Buckets and Birds, out on Twitter as well as at Compass Point Golf. A veteran around here getting you ready for all the local college basketball wars. You can find me, Nasty, at WNST.net, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, streaming live on our Facebook Live as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel, and always out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. Baltimore Positives there, the new morning newspaper, the new platform of our website. It's football season. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.